Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video. And I'm just out here making sure that hopefully I am live where I want to be out here on my page. So let me double check here, hit the refresh quick and make sure that I can see all your comments and everything coming in. And it looks like I am live there. So let me get the video pulled up. Okay. Looks like we are ready to roll. So, hey Karen, thanks for hopping in. So if you're hopping in, feel free to say hello. I appreciate you joining me for the video today. We're going to be using the Floral Essence Stamp Set Bundle, which will be available in the upcoming Stampin' Up! Catalog, the one that starts on June 4th. So this will be available for ordering then. And it includes the Floral Essence Stamp Set and the Perennial Flower Punch. So I use those on my card today, as well as a couple of the products that are retiring, so you'll definitely want to make sure that you get these. The products that are retiring that I used on my card is, first of all, the Wood Textures Designer Series paper. Thanks, Karen, I appreciate that. Wood Textures Designer Series paper. This pack of paper is probably, if you looked at my blog, you know it's one of my all-time favorite ever packs of paper, so I think everybody should have at least 50 of them. You don't ever want to run out. So anyway, so that is actually on the retiring list, unfortunately. So that paper will be going away no later than June 3rd. So, and it's only available right now while supplies last. So hopefully you've already got yourself stocked up. If not, get stocked up on that paper because it's awesome. The next thing that I'm using that is on the retiring list is the Celebrate You Thinlits dies. It's a set of 3 dies. And again, these are going to be retiring and going away as of June 3rd, maybe earlier. Again, these are only available while supplies last, so make sure that you get a hold of these. Again, this is another really good die set. And then I do too. I mean, that is the best paper, Diane. I just, I can't believe they took it. Well, they're discontinuing it. I don't know. I feel like it should stay forever and ever, longer than Lovely as a Tree as far as I'm concerned. But they don't always listen to me. So that's my opinion on it. The other thing that I'm using on the card today that is retiring is the Foliage Framelits dies. And again, these will be going away on June 3rd. So make sure that you get these ordered. There is a stamp set that's bundled with it in the catalog. But this is another really good, really pretty stamp set and or really pretty die set. And I'm using these 2 little branch dies on my card today. All right, so let me set that aside. One other thing that I do want to remind you about before I get started and lose track of what I was saying, the product medley, the Everything is Rosy product medley ordering opens up tomorrow. It's this awesome bunch of products from Stampin' Up. It includes a photopolymer stamp set, a set of dies, 6x6 Designer Series paper pack, and it has actually rose gold foil throughout the pack. It's an awesome, awesome, awesome thing. Beautiful paper. It's a set of 48 sheets, 6x6, double-sided. And then there are 6x6, which you can hopefully see it in here. There are 6x6 sheets of rose gold foil paper. There are printed die cuts. There are rose gold die cuts. There are rose gold adhesive back embellishments. There are Melon Mambo, there's Melon Mambo ribbon and Night of Navy ribbon. And the Night of Navy ribbon has metallic edging. It is absolutely beautiful, as well as some rose gold shimmer paint. So this will all be available starting tomorrow. So, and it's while supplies last, so definitely get your orders in early. I see some comments coming through, so hey, thanks for Kathy. Thanks for hopping on, Kathy and Lori. It's nice to see you guys out here. Yes, Karen, definitely double check the retiring list because there are a lot of really good things on it. There are bunches of dies that are going away, so you definitely want to take a look at it and get everything ordered that you can't live without. And this is a really good die set. So hopefully you can't live without it because I know I love it. So, okay. Well, let me get the card out of the way and we will get rolling on putting things together. So again, I've pre-cut and done a few things ahead of time just to save a little bit of time for all of us. This is the Wood Textures Designer Series paper. I'll be putting the die cut or the paper cuts out on my blog tomorrow, so no need to worry about writing them down. But this is 3 7/8 inch by 5 1/8 inch, and I'm adhering it to a panel of Granny Apple Green cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. With a little bit of snail. Hey Phyllis, thanks for hopping on. I appreciate that. Next thing that we're going to do is, again, I pre-cut and punched a few things ahead of time. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping and punching here, so not doing it all ahead, but just wanted to do a few things since it's kind of monotonous and boring watching me stamp over and over. So this is Grapefruit Grove ink, obviously, and I'm using the flower here from the Floral Essence stamp set. And before I stick that in ink, I wanted to let you know, or to show you a little trick here quick with this stamp set bundle. When you're stamping the image, make sure that you stamp it with one of the petals of the flower pointing fairly straight upward when you're putting it down on your paper, because that is how the punch works. These are the exact same size all the way around, so it doesn't matter which leaf goes to the top. Just make sure that one of them is pointing up towards the top. If you stamp it like this and then go to put your punch in, they're not going to line up, and then you're going to have to chop it out of your paper and all that. So that is the one and only trick with using this punch, is just make sure that one of your leaves is pointing up instead of to the side when you go to stamp it. So again, just using a little bit of Grapefruit Grove ink, and it's Grapefruit Grove cardstock. So just doing a little quick stamping. Get that up and out of the way. Close up my ink pad before I stick my fingers in it, or have cardstock fly in it. So doing a little punching here with the coordinating punch, and it's got a nice wide border around it, so it's fairly easy to line up. Hopefully you can see that on here. Whoop, one just almost flew up and hit the screen. It might have even hit the screen. I'm not even sure. All right. So when I did the punched out the flowers, I did a little bit of quick rounding on them with a bone folder. That's not a requirement. I just feel like it makes the flower look a little prettier and a little more real if I do a little bit of rounding on it before I stick the pieces together. The other little bit of stamping that we're going to do for the outside of the card is in Granny Apple Green ink, and I'm going to stamp the leaf image from the Floral Essence stamp set. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but I've had a nice little happy find that this leaf punch, or this leaf image actually, whoop, I'm going to flip that over and try that again. This leaf image actually coordinates with the leaf punch that we have in the current catalog. So that is a nice little added bonus. I love it when Stampin' Up! Does things like that for us. Uses the stuff that we already have and gives us a few new things that are fun to go with it. So I'll set that aside and pull out my leaf punch. I know, it's awesome, isn't it, Karen? I love that when they coordinate the punches and the dies with things that we already have, and so, yay. Always a good thing, in my opinion, anyway. All right, we'll get this one punched out here. And I'll set the leaf punch out of the way. All right, now we're going to start. I went ahead and, again, pre-cut some of the little die cut images on here so I didn't have to drag the big shot out. These are cut from champagne foil sheets, and again they're just the little branches from the foliage framelets dies and the sentiment from the Celebrate Youth inlets dies. And again, those are all just cut out of champagne foil sheets, and I'll be posting all this information out on my blog tomorrow so you can take a look and make sure that you have everything that you need ordered on the retiring list before it all goes away. These flowers go together real quickly with glue dots. At least I find that the easiest. Sorry about that. Had a little phone call right in the middle of my live, so I do apologize. I think I'm back. So, hey Diane, thanks for hopping in. Hopefully there wasn't too much of a little blip there on the screen. Hey Patricia, I can see that you hopped on too. Thanks so much for joining. So, all right, so I'm going to stick together the flowers just with little glue dots. Again, they go together real quickly, very easily. And then we're going to start adhering flowers onto the card front, and I'm also using glue dots to do that as well, just so that I have a little wiggle room underneath when I'm adhering the other pieces on. And you'll see in a second that we're going to be sticking on some embellishments and leaves. So I think I got this one a little off center, so that's another little nice thing about glue dots is you can reposition them as long as you haven't smashed them down real hard. So, all right, so let's get going on putting the little extras on it. For the little leaves that I cut out with the foliage frames dies, I actually trimmed off a little bit just so that it would tuck under. I found that they were just like a tiny bit too long if I left the long stem on the bottom of them, and they hung off the side of my card, which I didn't want because then they get all smashed up when you put them into the envelope. So nobody wants a smashed up little leaf coming in the mail to them. So just trimming it off. Again, it's just a pair of paper snips. and I only trimmed the very bottom part of it off. Sticking those in there, and that one may be hanging a little bit far out, but we'll see when we get to putting it on the card front. I can always move it around a little bit. And then I'm going to do one of the leaf punches as well. And again, I'm doing the same thing, just snipping off the bottom of it so that I've got a little bit more wiggle room up and underneath, and don't need to worry about the stem getting in my way as I'm adhering things. I don't know if y'all have seen my blog post or the post that I put out on Facebook, but I'm actually, my family and I are moving to the New Jersey area here at the end of the school year. We get out of school early down here in the south, so we are headed out the end of May. So that will be a big exciting move. My husband was ended up going accepting a job up there, and the company is moving us up to New Jersey. So we're pretty excited about that. We're actually closing on our house this week, the new one in New Jersey. So excited to be moving up a little bit further north, and sad to be leaving everybody here down south. So, but hopefully it'll be a good move. We've heard fantastic things about the schools and the area that we're moving to. We're moving to a little town called Mendham, which is about an hour outside of New York City. And I know Karen is excited because Karen lives not very far from there. I think it's only about 30 minutes from where we'll be moving to. So I know she's excited and I'm excited. So definitely looking forward to that. Just finishing up the little bit of adhering on the leaf punches. Oh, I got a glue dot that decided to stay stuck to the sheet instead of coming off with it. All right, so we've got the little flowers all put on. I'm going to use a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue to adhere on the sentiment. And you don't need bunches of this. Definitely less is better when it comes to the green glue. I guess I should slide that up a little bit. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm just putting a little bit on each letter, making sure that it'll stay stuck on the card front, but you don't need to like cover every single inch of it, because then you just sort of end up with a gluey mess. I kind of try to make sure the ends have some glue on it so that they'll stay down, and then everything else in between. I just sort of add a little bit here and there. And I also don't like getting glue all over my fingers, so I try not to put it everywhere. Give myself a little kind of handle to hold on to when I go to adhere things down. So we're going to go ahead and give this just a second. Let me take a peek and make sure I've got it fairly straight, which I think I do. Give this a second to stick. All right. I think that looks good. Hopefully it's not too crookedy. All right, the next thing we're going to add is this suite of products has some really neat little flower centers that are called Perennial Essence Floral Centers, creatively enough. And they actually are little kind of yellow fuzzies, for lack of a better term, that look like for real flower centers to me. And they've got adhesive dots on the back of them. And you just adhere them right over the center of the flower, and then it looks like a real flower center. So I thought these were definitely cool, and I like that they're yellow and sort of look like a for real flower center. So hopefully y'all are doing okay, and thanks again for joining in today. I appreciate it, and hopefully you're enjoying seeing some little sneak peeks of new things coming, and then some reminders about things that are going away too. So. All right, so that is most of the card front. The next thing up is I've got a panel or a card base. Golly, I can't talk today. That is Grapefruit Grove, and it's cut to 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And I'm just adhering the card front on with a couple little dimensional pieces. And it's getting hot here in Georgia. I don't know about you guys where you are, but whew, it's in the 80s and almost 90 this week. Oof, that's too hot for still April. So, although I guess May starts here soon. So, all right, so that is the card front. Just have the inside left to stamp. And I used the Picture Perfect Birthday stamp set, which is also, sadly, I can't believe it, this is one of my favorite ever. I love the sentiments in this one. This stamp set is on the retiring list as well. So again, this is one that you'll want to get before it goes away on June 3rd. This is an awesome stamp set. It's photopolymer, lots of good birthday images in it. So I used that for the sentiment on the inside and stamped a little bit Grapefruit Grove. 70 degrees. I'm jealous, Karen, because it's hot down here. We're supposed to be, I think, 87 or some silly thing today, so it's going to be hot. The humidity, thankfully, isn't here so bad yet, but I know it's coming, so ugh. That's the yucky part. And then I'm adding in a couple images here from the Floral Essence stamp set. This is one of the flower images, and I'm stamping it in Grapefruit Grove ink, hopefully. There we go. I think that looks like I got a decent coverage on it. And then add in the flower center in Daffodil Delight, which again, this is all from the Floral Essence stamp set. And it's really nice that it's photopolymer and you can see through it and you can see pretty well where you're stamping. And hopefully you can get things lined up pretty easily with it. And that the images all kind of are designed to coordinate and fit within each other, so that's a nice little thing too. And then last, I'm just adding a couple little granny apple green leaves to finish up the inside. All right. So again, just using a little snail. And adhering that to the inside of the card base. And then using my bone folder to do a little bit of a crease on it. And that is it for the card today. So let me shove aside all my scraps and put the two side by side. And so that's my card share for today. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing the new products. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. I'm happy to answer. You can leave me a comment on the video, or you can check it out on my blog tomorrow. So whatever works best for you is perfect for me. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will plan to see you again next week, Tuesday, with more cards.